Unless you've been living under a rock, or rather in a hole in the ground, you're probably aware by now that the new teaser trailer for the upcoming Amazon series The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power, released on Sunday during the third quarter of the Super Bowl. This has both created a lot of excitement and raised many more questions about the show, while also confirming several of our leaks. Today we will be analyzing the trailer frame by frame, identifying some Easter eggs and any other things you may have missed. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The trailer opens with a shot of a boat passing under a stone archway into a seaport city. This is Numenor 100%, and we'll explain why in a second. First, could this possibly be Loda's boat, which we've heard of before? We've since learned that this is a codename for Elendil's boat, and Elendil will be the commander of the Numenorian fleet. Since several leaks have sprung up around this boat, it seems safe to assume it will be an important part of the show. We soon move to a wide establishing shot of Numenor, and in the background we can see the Meneltarma, the sacred mountain in the center of the island of Numenor, which hopefully will be a prevalent part of this show. To the left of the mountain we have a massive statue of what seems to be Elros, the first king of Numenor, and, unlike his brother Elrond in the show, he has long hair. Whether this city is Armenelos Anduniae, Romena, or some other city remains to be seen. In the next shot, we have two nomadic hunters roaming the grassy mountainsides, and as we pan over them, we see a lush forest filling the sweeping valley below, continuing as far as the eye can see. This focus on the landscape really calls to mind the wonder, mystery, and sheer vastness of the great wide world, which is a key part of the visual aesthetic of Peter Jackson's Middle-earth adaptations. This concept is alluded to in the voiceover by the little Harfoot, played by Markella Kavanagh. Amazon has confirmed that her character name is Eleanor Nori Brandyfoot, and the emphasis on Nori being the nickname is quite interesting, as that is the name of one of the dwarves in Thorin's company from The Hobbit. Of course, Eleanor is also the name of Samwise Gamgee's daughter, whose namesake was a small golden flower that was brought by the elves of Tol Eressëa to Numenor, and later Lothlorien. For the next scene in the trailer, we have a view of a jagged mountain range covered in snow and ice, while in the foreground we see a massive waterfall or avalanche. Then we have Galadriel attempting to cross a precarious-looking icy cliff face, hanging on for dear life to the two trees dagger we saw in the character posters. Interestingly enough, this matches one of our leaks, in which we mentioned that Galadriel will be crossing an icy wasteland in the first episode, and encounter a cave troll, which we will see later on in the trailer. Vanity Fair has confirmed that this location is the Forodwaith, the Northern Waste. So it'll be nice to explore a new location in Middle-earth that we have not yet seen depicted in an on-screen adaptation. We then make it to Galadriel and Halbrand stranded on a wooden raft out at sea. And this does potentially look like the first time they meet, as in one shot we see Halbrand pull Galadriel's hair back from her face to reveal her pointed elven ear. This may be his first realization that she is an elf, which could be quite a tense scene in the show. Now we move on to Arondir, an Amazon original character who is a Sylvan elf, and clearly an archer. His elven reflexes definitely seem to be working, as he catches an arrow mid-flight and returns to sender. With this brief eye-catching stunt, the person lying on the ground next to him completely escaped my attention. Who this may be is something we'll probably have to wait until September 2nd to find out. At last, we have our mysterious Meteor Man in all his glory, as what seems to be a meteor or some kind of fireball shoots across the sky. In the next shot, we have Gil-galad looking up at the sky with a concerned look on his face at the meteor's passing. This is also our official first full look at the last High King of the Noldor, and it confirms that the character poster with the golden costume and rings was indeed Gil-galad. In the next shot, we have Galadriel leading a cavalry charge across the plains, presumably with the Elven host, which will be trying to find the last remnants of Morgoth's servants. We've heard this will be a main focus of Episode 1, and it seems that this could be possibly before they make it to Forodwaith and encounter the upcoming Ice Troll. Speaking of the troll encounter, in the next scene we have Kip Chapman's character, who appears to be in the same type of garb we saw Galadriel wearing a couple of scenes ago while crossing the icy cliff. This has some people wondering if he could be Celeborn, but this is uncertain because we unfortunately haven't heard anything about Celeborn so far. But seeing as this character looks slightly outmatched here, it does not seem like it will end too well for them. Finally, we get a glimpse of what looks like the kingdom of Linden in a forested scene at the brink of a waterfall. Gil-galad stands in the center of lots of elves kneeling before him. It looks as if the three people to his left are wearing crowns. Could they perhaps be Numenorians? It also looks like a lot of the elves do have short hair, which is quite interesting. At last, we have some Dwarven action with what seems to be a rock-breaking competition. We've reported that Robert Arameo was present on the Dwarven sets, so this shot of Elrond, presumably in Khazad-dûm, is another confirmation. Next up, we have Dwarven Princess Disa singing, which is the show-stealing scene that the recent Vanity Fair releases have referred to. We've also previously mentioned that this is actually in response to a deadly mineshaft collapse scene, in which the Dwarven king is said to have narrowly escaped with his life. This next shot has caused some debate because it's uncertain whether or not this is Ismael Cruz Cordova as Arondir or not. It is an elf though, one who is wielding an axe, and there was only really ever one elf in the Legendarium who wielded an axe. It also seems like they're shackled up as well, but attempting to break free. If this is Arondir, maybe we're seeing him escape from his captors, and then in the scene in the forest, he's trying to escape and stop them tracking him. We shall see. The big one of today is what we revealed yesterday with Will Fletcher as Finrod, who, yes, has short hair, and interestingly enough is in a battle. Could this be in the prologue and maybe Nirnaeth Arnoediad, the Battle of Unnumbered Tears, or Dagor Bragolach, the Battle of Sudden Flame? A nice thing to note here on top of that is that we are seeing practical effect orcs like we did in the Lord of the Rings film trilogy, and they do look fairly menacing. And now for the final shot of the trailer, we have Markella Kavanagh's Eleanor Nori Brandyfoot taking the hand of Daniel Wayman as Meteor Man, who has since been officially named by Amazon as simply The Stranger. Honestly though, whatever anyone says, on this channel we're going to continue calling this mysterious character Meteor Man, because, really, it's grown on us and it's just cooler. All jokes aside though, it seems that the involvement of Meteor Man is the central event and main mystery in this first teaser, and we will probably see this develop throughout the season. But perhaps the biggest speculation right now is just who is this Meteor Man? Some think it could be Sauron, which is plausible, while others think it's Gandalf due to the similarities between his clothing we saw in the character poster and Gandalf's character design in Peter Jackson's adaptations. The showrunners J.D. Payne and Patrick McKay were specifically asked about the identity of this character, but were very elusive in their answer. When asked if it was any of the three Istari we're familiar with, Saruman, Gandalf, or Radagast, they said only that, quote, "These are not the only beings in that class, so maybe, but maybe not. And the mystery and the journey of it is all of the fun, I would say," end quote. Interestingly, the two blue wizards were not mentioned. Is that a hint or not? We shall have to wait and see. So there you have it. The first teaser trailer is officially out for all of us to re-watch, analyze, and speculate on until the next release, whenever that may be. Overall, what are everyone's thoughts and opinions on the trailer? Did it feel like Middle-earth to you? Was it what you expected or hoped to see? Which of the characters shown was your favorite? Does this make you overall more or less excited for the show? Give your thoughts in the comments below, and of course, please remember to be respectful to your fellow Tolkien fans. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, we really appreciate it. We'll see you again soon, and until next time, Namarie Melonin.